What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Welcome back to your review of P-Valley Season 1, Episode 4. So, first of all, let me apologize for the lighting. My light literally has gone out, like, tonight, so sorry. And congratulations to P-Valley. We found out this week that they have been renewed for Season 2, but I did not doubt it at all because there's been just so much hype around this show that I did not question for a minute that we would have a Season 2. Third thing I want to say is be on the lookout. I'll put the link in the description box. Be on the lookout of TS Entertainment podcast review of P-Valley. Those of you who've been rocking with me know we did the one for Power. So we're going to be reviewing P-Valley for the podcast as well. I'll make sure I include the link. It is also, you can find it on my Instagram. Anyway, let's get into this episode. So this episode is called The Trap. And we see, the beginning of this episode, we see Mississippi sort of having a moment with this guy who was telling her basically, he in the strip club, but he don't think that he should have to pay to watch a woman undress. Then he wants to start throwing Jesus into it and talk about the righteous. Mercedes comes along and basically she calls him Freckles. And I think we're going to see Freckles again, okay? I think Freckles is going to be a situation. But in that moment, Mercedes sort of corrects, gets him together and tells him, look, either you're going to pay her or you're going to get the hell out. Like, we're not running no charities up in here. And so he ends up throwing the money on the floor. Well, here come Diamond. First of all, Diamond don't play with the girls. Second of all, he don't play with Mississippi, okay? So he picks up the money, tells the guy, hand it to her like you're supposed to. And so the guy reluctantly does it after, Diamond damn near chokes him to death, okay? And then Mississippi and Mercedes have a conversation about Mississippi feeling some kind of way about stripping. And basically taking some ownership of the comments he said to her about, because he made comments of, some nasty comments. And Mercedes is like, listen, if you don't learn nothing else from me, then learn what I said to you about don't own none of this. Like, don't take nobody else's shit on yourself. He probably gonna go home tonight and jack off to a porn. Like, don't do it. Like, all this righteousness, don't take no ownership of that. And she says, well, what if I feel that way too? And Mercedes just kind of give her a look like, you in the wrong place, bruh. Like, I don't know what to tell you then. Like, if you feeling that kind of way about stripping, then you might be in the wrong job. Then we see old girl, Miss Autumn, that got her $9,000. And because at first we saw her getting all these liquor bottles together and pouring them into the tub. And I said, oh, she gonna stop drinking. Okay, yes. Oh no, she was treating that money so it would look old, because the money she had were like new $100 bills. So she was washing them in the liquor, crumpling them up, letting them dry so they would look old and used and that kind of thing. And then she took them down to the bank. Now, we'll talk a little bit more when we get to the end of this episode, but I'm really not understanding why she's opening up a bank account, because I really thought she was going to get this money and run. But opening up a bank account, first of all, under a fake ID is very dangerous. You still don't know where this woman is. Just because her body ain't turned up yet don't mean her body won't. It was just interesting. I was like, the money piece, I understood the whole money situation. You watch the money so you can kind of pass it off as money from the club. But it was a little interesting that she would open up a bank account. But honey, the bank teller talking about something, things must be going good down to the Pynk. She said, well, the new girl, you know how they like to treat the new girl. She said, don't me and my husband know. And she was just like, well, I don't know what to say about that, So then we have, we see Mercedes' mama. Mercedes' mama is in line at the bank. Mercedes' mama is emptying the whole bank account of the church. Now, what I found interesting was she got the cashier's check, but the cashier's check was for $20,000 and like $300 and some change, which says to me that the church only had $300 of its own dollars in the bank. The other $20,000 belonged to Mercedes. I said, and when I heard, well, y'all already know I told y'all I didn't think Mercedes was ever going to get that money back. But when they said, the bank teller said, you sure you want to close the whole account, ma'am? And she said, yes, I'm just listening to what the Lord is telling me. I said, see? I said, here we go with the bullshit. And while somebody was behind her blowing, she going to say, what she say? And fucking bless you too. I said, oh Lord, child. And her mama was getting high off of her little vape, child. I said, I knew then. I said, this ain't gonna end well. This ain't gonna end well at all, honey. So then we back down to the club, and Gidget, I know I called her Gigi all last episode, child. Her name is Gidget. Gidget is trying to teach Autumn how to get on this pole. She said, listen, you climbed your drunk ass up there last week and almost broke everybody's neck. So if you go get on the pole, we're going to teach you how to get on the pole. You're going to have to start learning how to turn some Twixt and some tricks and twirls and dirls and monkey drops and all this other stuff that they do. And Autumn couldn't do it. She said, I just don't have the upper body strength to do this. And Gidget told her, girl, this ain't about upper body strength. This is physics. And she was showing her how to twirl and how to move her weight and all of that. I said, you better break that shit down to physics, girl. And Uncle Clifford come out there talking about some, because here come Mississippi with the baby. Talking about some, is this my new Trinity? Mississippi was like, no, the hell it ain't. Me and Gidget, we are now a duo. We are salt and pepper. I don't know what Autumn doing. I don't know what she doing. Uncle Clifford gonna call her. What he call her? June, October. Talking about some. Let me talk to you. So he takes her into the back room so they can talk about this whole casino situation a little bit more. And Uncle Clifford is, and I found it interesting because Uncle Clifford seems to feel like Autumn has a level of intelligence to have this conversation, or maybe Autumn is the only person he feels safe talking to because she's the only one that knows what. Maybe that's what it is. Forget that first part. He knows she knows until he can kind of talk freely. And he's telling her, listen, I need to figure out how to hold on to this piece of land so I can get paid, because it looks like the Pynk is not included in these pictures. I don't see the page nowhere on here. And so I need to hold on to this so they can make me an offer I can't refuse. And Autumn was like, you do own, don't you? He was like, I own. He said, this is generational. And you see a little sign on the wall that lets you know that this probably used to be like his. He said that he inherited it. So his people probably own this thing going back a couple of generations. And you see the sign that makes it look like it might have been like a juke joint back in the day. Probably during segregation. This area where the Pynk is probably was the black side of town, And his people owned him a little juke joint, a little something. And probably the biggest names came through there on the chitlin circuit back in the day, child. Uncle Clifford has on this lavender sweatsuit with his butt hanging out. Uncle Clifford be killing me, honey, with the fashions, okay? But while this is going on inside, and he's trying to convince Autumn to go and make up with Andre and get a little bit more information. He said, listen, I need a little more information. Like, I don't have everything I need, and I need a little more information so I can make sure that I'm good. And he told her he was in a little bit of financial trouble. He said he took out a loan. He said, I own it, but I did take out a little loan. And Autumn was like, he had pictures of me. And he said, girl, don't flatter yourself. He had pictures of all of us. And he showed her pictures of her that the man had taken of him. And he was like, you ain't special. He ain't stalking you. Because remember, she on the run. In the back of her mind, she feel like, they going to get her at any time. Now, while all of this is going on the inside, in the office, outside, we have Mississippi talking to Gidget saying, listen, the club is in trouble. It's a casino coming, and the club is in trouble. Uncle Clifford is about to lose the club. And she was like, well, why wouldn't he tell us? He got us out here, like, leave us hanging. Why wouldn't he let us know that the club was in trouble? Mississippi's like, listen, I'm just telling you what I overheard. I don't know no more, no less, but we need to figure out a plan B, because, honey, it's about to be a problem. So while all this going on down to the Pynk, Andre and his goddaddy, the mayor, are presenting to his boss, and they're presenting the information about what they've learned about the Pynk and all this other stuff. And Andre, even in Andre's mess, because Andre is messy, but even in his mess, he's trying to look out for Uncle Clifford. He said, listen, why don't we just pay him? He owns the land, it's worth X, Y, Z, because they are lowballing the hell out of these people. They offering them pennies on the dollar of what their land is worth. And his boss, a white guy, says, listen, why do I need to pay him if the property about to be foreclosed on? Why do I need to give him any money? Why do I need to give him anything if they about to foreclose on this property? So Andre's trying to work it out, and he said, listen, the mayor, says, listen, I can expedite this situation. I can, pass a law, pass an ordinance or something that can expedite the situation. Which brings me back to the no alcohol, the no topless dancing and all that. I said, that's what he been trying to do. And I told y'all before about them calling that loan in. I felt some kind of way about the fact that they called the loan in. Now, Uncle Clifford, Granddaddy, a.k.a. the mayor, Goddaddy, is not happy about the fact that Uncle Clifford knows about the casino. He said, listen, I done already told you, we in the Bible Belt. We got to be very careful. Like, you need to walk lightly. And he said, I need you to get the other guys, the brothers, the three brothers, Corbin and his two brothers, I need that deal closed. He said, you got a week to close that deal. And Uncle Clifford was like, the godfather, the mayor was like, listen, we need to get it done because this is my legacy. And we're going to get this casino because I already know that without this casino, this town is just dead. And of course, we know that it's a personal thing for him as well. Now, Mercedes ends up meeting with the real estate agent down to her property. And she could just envision it. She see the girls dancing. She see the trophies in the case, everything. And she's telling the real estate agent what she has planned, what she has going on. And she even broke down her business plan. She said, listen, I'm going to, it's going to be a gym. And I'm going to sell, not sell memberships, but, for classes. Basically, the girls will be paying for the lessons and stuff like that. And it'll be on a monthly basis. And the agent was a little nervous. She said, I don't know about that. She said, are you sure that you're going to be able to make enough money doing that? Like, I don't know too many people, you sure? And she was like, yeah. She's telling her the whole plan. And finally, the real estate agent says, well, listen, I need you to go ahead and give me that deposit because, listen, this land is people are swapping up land real quick up in this town because, of course, people who know the casino's coming buying up all the land. She says, I need you to let me know. I need that deposit as soon as I need it by tomorrow. She was like, tomorrow? She was like, yeah, I need that deposit by tomorrow. Baby, Mercedes is calling her mama. Her mama ain't answering the phone. I said, Now, this is the day of Mercedes' last dance, okay? Remember, we are finally here. We are at Mercedes' last dance, okay? And she is trying to get the money from her mama so she can put this deposit down on the gym. And her mama ain't answering none of her phone calls. Now, we get down here to the church. It's revival. And her mama is supposed to be singing, right? Halfway through the song, her mama changed it from a song to a sermon. She done walked her butt up to the pulpit. She done got up in there and she is trying to preach. And y'all know her pastor is not feeling it. He is like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you in my pulpit? And he literally grabs her and pulls her out of there. And he's talking to her outside. And he's like, what's going on? What's going on? Actually, no, we're not at Mercedes' last dance yet. No, we're not there yet. But, and she tells him, she said, listen, I'm ready to preach. And you told me you was going to let me preach. And he said, listen, women don't belong in the pulpit. Stay in your place. And if you don't like it, and you don't like how I run my church, then you need to find you another church. What do you say that for? Like, you don't say that to the person in charge of the money. That's not. Them ain't the conversations you had to the person in charge of the money. Now, Mercedes is down to the, that's how I knew what Mercedes last damn, because the coach, her little coach, regular, he done gave her this real nice, name necklace with diamonds all in it and everything. Child, she took that gift from him and ended up taking it to the back room and giving it to Big Al, Big L, whatever his name is, child. Talking about something, maybe you can get, make some tennis shoes out of that. I said, dang, Mercedes, you're cold as ice. Uncle Clifford is in the back giving the girls their lineup and everything. And now, of course, everybody knows that the Pynk is in trouble. Because Mississippi done told Gidget done told everybody. So Uncle Clifford was like, listen, ain't nothing going on, ain't nothing wrong, the Pynk is fine, y'all stop tripping, I need you to get out there and get on the pole, gonna make you some money. But ain't nobody, they don't believe him. Like, they know something's wrong. They know something ain't right. And, like I said, Gidget ain't here for it, okay? Mercedes comes in there and she lets it out that she knew too. Not only did she know, but she talking about the money problems. Uncle Clifford giving her to look like, bitch, if you don't shut your mouth. So now Gidget and Mercedes, they're mad at Gidget in Mississippi. They mad at Mercedes. They're like, you wasn't gonna tell us? And she was like, girl, what you talking about? Like, what? Uncle Clifford be alright? Like, she said, listen, I told y'all all along, stack your paper. I ain't tell y'all to be buying designer bags and all these other things. I told you to stack your paper. So don't get mad at me because, you know, it might be the end of the road and y'all don't have no backup plan. Like, I got a plan. Y'all know I'm about to buy my gym. I'm about to retire and get the fuck up out of Dodge. And then she throws that Gidget. She was like, you know, something about, you know, ain't my fault you don't have nothing to do when strippers too old to strip. Ain't that right, Gidget? Baby. Whatever that was struck a nerve. I'm assuming that Gidget mama was a stripper and, you know, got too old to strip. Because it hit a nerve. And Mississippi was like, damn, Mercedes, you ain't have to do that. Like, you cut real deep. You ain't have to do that. Mississippi, and you know, Mercedes was like, what? What the fuck I say? Like, I'm just speaking the truth. You don't have to like it, but I speak of the truth. So then we see Autumn roll up on Andre. Andre is not here for it. He ain't having it. They get into this big argument. And baby, he threw the jugular at her. He told her, why don't you go home and go take care of your baby instead of out here tricking? What'd she say that? What'd he say that for? She ended up going off on him and trying to beat his ass, child. She tried to beat the man down. And she finally told him, she said, listen, my daughter is gone. You know, my daughter is gone. And of course, then he felt like shit. You know, she ended up spending the night at his hotel room, but they ain't do nothing. You know, he ain't do nothing with her. But they had a little bit of a moment. Again, I'm not sure how much of what Autumn is doing is because she really likes Andre or because she's trying to get the information about the casino. But neither here nor there. They kind of had a moment where they not as mad, you know. Now we are finally there. We are at Mercedes' last dance, honey. The line is around the blocks, cars everywhere. Mercedes is still trying to get in touch with her mama who ain't answering the phone. And the realtor is telling her, listen, you need to hurry up and bring me my money because I have another offer. Somebody else wants to make an offer on the building. I need you to hurry up and bring me my money. Autumn done got herself a little hoopty, honey. She riding around town with. Listen, let me tell y'all about Miss Autumn, okay? Autumn has started transferring money, and she's riding all around, going to different Western Union, Telegram locations, transferring $9,000, $9,000. We must have seen about 4 or 5 of those transactions. She kept changing her wig, so she had a different hairstyle, but she kept transferring that money from wherever this account is. Now, I personally think it's her money, or at least her and her husband's money, or her husband's money, and she know that his body ain't been found yet, so she taking the money until he come to claim his accounts or whatever. But she clearly has the information to get into it to be able to transfer the money. So I'm thinking it's like her husband or somebody like that. Then she was like, oh, and I know she's doing in $9,000 increments because anything under $10,000 doesn't have to be reported to the IRS. If she was transferring $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 at a time, then those places would have to report it to the IRS. So that's where that $9,000 is coming from. That's why she's doing it under $10,000, in case y'all didn't know. But yeah, so Mercedes is stacking her Autumn is stacking the money now. I'm not quite sure what she's planning to do with all this money. That's why I wasn't understanding why she that's why I wasn't understanding why she was opening up an account if she was going to go on a run. So I think she's got a plan. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to try to help out the Pynk. I don't know if she's going to try to buy a property knowing that casino coming. Whatever the situation is. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Mercedes rolls up into the Pynk, honey. It's her last dance. Gidget still ain't speaking to her. Got an attitude. She opens up her locker and baby, they have decorated her locker. And they've got her bustier, her outfit for the night. It's all studded out. It's black and bedazzled. And they dress her. You know, they oil her down and they getting her ready, right? And she looks amazing. Like that outfit that they had, everything, her makeup, her hair, everything. Baby, she was ready for Mercedes' last dance. Do you hear me? Now, Lil Murda tried to get through there with his family, trying to do the VIP thing with his crew. And y'all know, remember the last time he tried to do VIP, Diamond told him get to the back of the line, and he did. But this time he tried to do VIP, and Diamond was like, get to the back of the line, and he gave Diamond a little bit of pushback. And Uncle Clifford had to come out and say, Diamond, it's cool, let him in. Because Diamond was about to break all their necks, okay? But he was like, let him in. And Diamond kind of gave Uncle Clifford the look like, don't be telling me how to run my line, but it's your club. All right, let them in. Then we had Mississippi and Mercedes. Mississippi's still pissed off about them, you know, and she's talking to Mercedes about, listen, you might have had a plan, but we don't. Like, you're alone. You don't have kids to worry about. You don't have the other things that we have to take care of. So it's easy for you to pass judgment and make it seem like it's so easy to save up the money. You know, you got your you got your gym and everything, and that's great. But don't look down on the rest of us because we don't have any other options. Like, this is what we have. So, like, don't be looking down on us because we don't have nothing else we can do. Like, stop it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you got to look outside of yourself. Lil Murda tries to slide, you know, DJ Never Scared his music, and DJ Never Scared is scared of Mercedes. He was like, listen, I am not about to do this to her again. First of all, it's Mercedes' last dance. You think I'm about to slide some bullshit up on her last dance? He was like, and like, no, like the shit ain't good. And Murda was like, listen to it. He said, listen, I need Mercedes to bless this. Like, I need her to dance to it. Like, that's going to put me where I need to be. Never Scared was like, listen, maybe I can slide in with some other dancers, but I can't do Mercedes this way. Now, Mercedes' neighbor actually comes through, right? Remember the neighbor guy who was on the ankle bracelet? He said he done worked that whole ankle bracelet situation out. And they in the VIP, and Mercedes likes him. She turns into a bowl of mush around this dude, whoever he is. But he is old school gangster. Like, he is old school gangster. Do you hear me? And Lil Murda tried to roll up on Mercedes. Baby, they was about to, I think they was going to shoot him right there in the middle of the club. Mercedes was like, he good. He cool. It's cool. It's all right. What you want? And he was just saying, you know, I wouldn't just say congratulations to you. Wish you well on your last dance. Blah, 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 blah. Or your retirement. Da, 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 da. So Mercedes is just taking it all in. I mean, she's just having her moment. She's taking it all in. She goes to say goodbye to Uncle Clifford. Uncle Clifford ain't really here for it. Okay, Uncle Clifford he in his feelings because I think he's proud of her and happy for her, but he also knows he don't want to see her go. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to see her go. So they have that little like fucked up moment because, you know, Uncle Clifford wasn't halfway talking to her, wasn't looking at her, you know, all that good stuff. But he wants her to leave. Like, he doesn't want her to make this a lifestyle, you know. She finally gets the text from her. She gets a phone call, and it's her mother. And she's telling her mother, meet me at the Kroger. So she ends up running up out the club to go meet her mom to get the money so she could take it to the realtor, because the realtor was like, I need the money by midnight. Yeah. So she runs out the club, but she thinks she's just about to go do this transaction. She come back, have her last dance, right? While that's going on, we got Salt and Pepper on the stage. You know, they doing their thing. Lil Murda's off to the side in his feelings. Like, he done got punked by the OG gangster in VIP. DJ Never Scared ain't trying to play his music. And he is really in his feelings. So one of his boys kind of threw a little comment at him, telling him he was being a bitch. And he was letting that boy punk him. And he was like, ain't nobody punk me. Ain't nobody punk me. He was like, I'm just showing respect to the OGs. He was like, well, I mean, you know, word on the curb. Basically, he was like, word on the street is you a punk anyway. Child Lil Murda tried to kill that boy right there in the club. He whooping his ass in the club. And, of course, here come Diamond. Diamond ends up throwing him out, honey. ends up throwing him out. Now, Mercedes rolls up on, she gets to the gym. She rolls up to the gym, and the realtor's there. The realtor was like, I'm sorry, you're too late. The other buyer just gave me their money. She was like, my mother is on her way. My mother is going to meet me here. Like, I got the money. It's coming. Like, I'm, you know, honey, why her mama come walking up out that building? The realtor, she said, Ma. The realtor said, oh, this your mother? The realtor was like, oh, let me get the hell out of here. Because that's who just bought the gym with Mercedes $20,000. Mercedes was like, oh, okay, Ma. So she said, oh, you came down to see me. This is going to be, she said, oh, so you gave the realtor the money for me? Like, oh, you went on and gave her the money. Because, you know, Mercedes was like, I know the money you just gave her was for me. Because it's my money. And she said, no, the Lord spoke to me. And I want you, I just bought this for me. This is going to be my new church. Bitch. When it sunk in to Mercedes, what her mama had just done with her money, Mercedes commenced to whooping her mama's ass. And they was out there rumbling. Do you hear me? So while all this is going on back at the club, they are waiting for Mercedes to get on this pole and do her final dance. The natives are getting restless. They are not happy because everybody came from far wide for Mercedes' last dance, and it ain't no damn Mercedes. Uncle Clifford is like struggling, and you know, he's trying to figure this whole thing out. He's struggling, and he goes in the back, and he was like, listen, I need somebody to get up there and dance. Like, I need somebody to get up there and dance. And finally, Mississippi was like, I'll do it. Like, everybody looked like they were scared. Mississippi was like, and she was scared, but she was like, I'll do it. Bitch. Mississippi got up on that stage. And she did the damn thing. Do you hear me? Did the damn thing. Got all Mercedes money, honey. She got all that money. Now, while this was going on, Uncle Clifford went outside to go check on Lil Murder, right? Lil Murder outside. Now, Mercedes ended up dancing to Lil Murder's song. So he can hear his song, and of course now he's like, that's my song, yes. I don't think he knew it wasn't Mercedes dancing to it, but it didn't matter. He was like, they playing my song, yes. Uncle Clifford comes out and ends up taking Lil Murder into a little back room, look like it's like a little, an abandoned part of the club they'll use. They had like a what they call it, a juke, y'all know what I'm saying, a juke machine, y'all know what I'm talking about. And they end up having sex, child. I'm not gonna, they end up having sex, child. Okay. He turned Uncle Clifford around, and Uncle Clifford said, you got a condom? He was like, right here. And they would use a spit for lube and all kinds of stuff, honey. But while Mercedes was getting her dance, Uncle Clifford was getting his groove. Okay. And they was having their whole moment. At the end, Mercedes dance, the glitter comes down because it was supposed to be the glitter for, Mississippi's dance. The glitter falls down. You know, it was supposed to be the glitter for Mercedes when she got done her finale. But it was the glitter coming down and all of that. And Mississippi, and in that moment, Mississippi has been christened. She is the new queen. Now, I don't know what Mercedes going to do. But the last thing we see of Mercedes is her being driven off in a police car in handcuffs, honey. Because she whooped her mama ass. And her mama was being handcuffed and put into another police car. So, child, we're going to see what it come up next week. I told y'all Mercedes was going to get that money. Now, I didn't see that coming. I ain't see, mama just trifling. I ain't see that coming. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.